everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, I'm Heather Ione. I am a blogger, YouTuber, traveler, wellness warrior, and chai tea addict. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I create content all about self-help, health, and wellness. And when I had initially started this YouTube channel, if you've watched my earlier videos, then I talked about how I wanted to use this channel as a way for you guys to get to know me a little bit, because I've been blogging now for a year and a half, but I know that it's kind of hard to get to know someone through writing. You know, we're just such visual people now, and if you followed me on Instagram, I feel like there's just a lot of like photos from my modeling and stuff, so it's just kind of like everything just seems pretty filtered, and I really feel like people like to see the actual person behind the screen, see their gestures, hear them talk. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity for you guys to get to know me, and I saw that a lot of people were doing this 50 facts about me video. And I never thought I would do one, but I was like, well, that's kind of the reason why I created this channel, so I might as well give it a try. So I wrote down my 50 facts about me that I'm going to share with you today. Some of them are just kind of like basic, some of them are slightly awkward or embarrassing, and I'm going to be sharing all of them. I'm kind of nervous about it, but whatever, it'll be fine. So without further ado, here are the 50 facts about me. I hope you like it. Number 1, the first fact about me that I wanted to share was my name, Ione. It all started back when I was in like high school and I was trying to create my social media usernames, and I noticed that there were thousands of Heather Clarks out there. So many Heather Clarks. And if I wanted to have my first and last name and like my handles or anything, I would have had to do like this variation with like tons, like a long stream of numbers after it, and I was just getting so frustrated. So I just started to go by my middle name, Heather Ione. And oh, fun fact, my ex-boyfriend, his roommate was actually dating a Heather Clark while we were dating too. Isn't that weird? Anyways, since then, people have asked me what is Ione, and they have a difficult time pronouncing it too. So I always tell them it's like, it's not Ion, it's not Ione, it's Ione, like I own a car. And I didn't make it up. A lot of people think that I made up the name, but it was actually my great-grandmother's name, so that's what I go by. It's my middle name. Number 2, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, and before that I lived in Wisconsin for about 10 years. I lived in the Menominee Falls, Milwaukee area. I lived in Middleton, and I also went to school in Whitewater, and oh my God, I would never be able to do it again. It's so freaking cold. Never, 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 never again. Third fact about me, I do have a boyfriend. His name is Matt, and I swear he looks more like my family than I do. He's got like orange hair and freckles and light skin, and like whenever I'm like with my family, I notice that people tend to think that like he's their son and like I'm the girlfriend, and every single person loves him. Like he's just the most genuine person in the world. I think my family actually likes him more than they like me. I will put a bet on that. Number 4, I actually met Matt after this sweeping declaration right before I was going out with all of these girls about how I was done dating and I was not gonna date again until I had graduated college and I had my own apartment and my own job and I was completely independent and financially stable, and like I had like this whole checklist, like I had to be 25, and I made this whole like sweeping declaration about how I was done dating. And then that night I met my boyfriend, and now we moved to St. Pete and live together and are looking at buying a house, and it's just so funny how things work. I honestly think that the universe did it on purpose. I think that I had to get like completely comfortable with myself and love myself and be happy on my own before the universe was like, here you go, here's who you're meant to be with. Number 5, it's actually our anniversary in 8 days. It's our anniversary in 8 days. Isn't that weird? And in case you're wondering, those sunflowers he gave me, we've been dating for 2 years now, and I'm really excited. I'm not really sure how we're going to celebrate yet, but that's coming up really soon. He's so sweet. Number 6. I've had 3 dogs growing up, and they're all Caissons. The first one's name was Chelsea. We had to put her down when she was 16. And my other 2 dogs, they live with my parents. They are still alive and well, Sage and Meadow. They are all the exact same breed, and because of that, I am just like completely in love with like fluffy dogs. Oh my god, they're so freaking cute. I'll have to figure out how to get a picture in here so I can show them to you guys, but oh my gosh, they are just the cutest, fluffiest dogs in the world. And I always tell people, because Caissons are like kind of rare, not many people know about them, I always tell people that they're like a cross between like a Pomeranian and like a husky. You know, they look kind of like wolf-like, but they're like super puffy. Number 7, I actually believe that my spirit animal is the Caisson, because they're an interesting breed. They can be like extremely stubborn, or they can be like extremely affectionate, or they can be like grouchy and like not wanting anything to do with you, or they can be super bubbly and happy. And I actually discovered this with Matt one night. He's like, I think your spirit animal is your dog. I'm like, yeah, I think so too. Because they're like also super lazy, but they can be energetic when they want to be. They spend like most of their day just kind of like chilling in the house, like sleeping, napping, living their best life, and then all of a sudden they'll get like all this energy out of nowhere. So I feel like that's definitely my spirit animal too. Number 8, or that was 9. Number 8, I am actually an introvert despite how much I share about myself online. I've always been extremely introverted ever since I was a kid. I like open up like on Instagram, I open up in my blog posts and everything, but I feel the best when I have alone time. And whenever I'm around like a big group of people, or there's just a lot going on, I find that I'm very, very drained and exhausted. So I need like that alone time so that I can like feel refreshed and better again. Number 9, my ultimate dream in life is actually to be an author. That's like, I will die happy once I'm an author. I've had a couple different ideas for books, but I'm not like completely settled on something yet. So I think I'm just gonna keep doing the projects that I'm working on now and get through IIN, and then I don't know, I think I'll revisit writing a book in a couple years. But at the moment, I have nothing that I'm like, I absolutely have to write a book about this topic. Number 10, I am a huge believer that living outside of your comfort zone is the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself. I started like living outside my comfort zone when I first moved to Florida, and I started modeling actually because it was like scary for me, and I didn't feel like completely comfortable with my body, and it was like really weird having to like take pictures and like strike all these like poses, and you know, it was just a lot going on. But I like used it as an opportunity to get outside of my comfort zone and meet people and go take pictures every weekend instead of like just doing nothing at home, like eating chips and like binge watching Netflix and The Office for like the 100th time. So I'm just a huge believer that living outside of your comfort zone is the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself. And since then, I've been making myself do things that scare the living hell out of me, but there's nothing that makes me happier than doing it. Like, I started practicing acro yoga, which was like really scary because I've never been super athletic or coordinated. And I started my blog and a YouTube channel. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but yeah, I'm just like a firm believer that the more you throw yourself, I'm just a huge believer that the more you throw yourself outside of your comfort zone, the happier you'll be. My throat's getting dry, I need more coffee. Number 11. I should honestly have the words, "Have you read Big Magic?" tattooed on my forehead. It is my favorite book of all time. I've read it like 6, 7 different times. I wrote a blog post about it. Like every single time I talk to someone, I'm like, have you read Big Magic? Have you read Big Magic? But it was like one of the few books that completely changed my life, because it made me realize that it's okay to create the way that I want to create. Because up until that point, I was just like, I knew I always wanted to create blogs. I knew I always wanted to write. I knew I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. I knew I wanted to model, and I love taking photos. But I just felt like that isn't true creativity, or I wasn't like really an artist, or I wasn't like allowed to be creative in that way, and that didn't really count, and I wasn't really talented. But that book just made me realize that it doesn't matter how you want to create, because the sole purpose of creativity is just to make yourself happy. So because of that book, it's given me permission to do every single thing that I wanted to do. That book is actually the reason why I started modeling, blogging, YouTubing, why I'm writing ebooks. Like that, I owe everything to that book, because it gave me the courage to do what I wanted to do. It made me realize that you don't have to be like successful and make tons and tons of money doing what you love in order to do it. You know, creativity is not meant for like a few specific people with this like God-given ability and like who earn millions of dollars. You can be creative however you want. The only thing that matters is that it makes you happy. You don't have to earn money, and you definitely shouldn't let the fear of what other people think dictate how you choose to create. Number 12, I am a huge fan of self-help and self-improvement. And I started getting really interested in it when I was in like high school, I want to say. And it was always this like secret passion of mine. Like I would read self-help books, and I would like figure out ways to like make myself like better or improve myself. And I honestly can geek out on it like all day long. I love self-help and self-improvement. And I know a lot of people think that the self-help industry is like fake and it's stupid, and people just like spew this random self-improvement crap to make money. But I've honestly seen such huge changes in my life from it, and I don't think that I'm like a fraud or anything. I just do it because I'm so passionate about it. I love self-help. I've seen the way it's helped me, and I want to help other people and the way that, you know, Gretchen Rubin has helped me. And I didn't even realize it was like my passion, and that was what I wanted to do in life, because for the longest time I didn't see it as an option. I thought it was just like an interest or a hobby, but like I shouldn't pay attention to it because it's important I get a 9-to-5 job, you know? Number 13. For the longest time, throughout the majority of my life, my dream was to be a cosmetologist. Ever since I was like a kid, I would bring the neighborhood girls over and I would like do their hair and makeup. And the first book I ever bought for myself, I was like not even 10 years old. I was like 8 or 9, and I was at a kids health fair, or not health fair, a book club. No, it wasn't a book. What was it? It was the book fair. That's what it was. I was at the book fair in my elementary school. First book I ever bought for myself was a book that was written for 40-year-old women about like beauty techniques and skincare and all of this stuff. It was so random, and I kept that book for like years. I remember there was like a cucumber on the girl's eye in the cover, and like all of these like brushes coming in, and I was like so excited about that book. I loved beauty. It made me so happy. I actually wanted to create my own spa and salon one day, and I wanted to go to cosmetology school. I ended up going to business school instead because that's what my family wanted to do. But before that, throughout the majority of my life, like that was actually my life plan, was to go to cosmetology school, and up until I was like, I finally like changed paths when I was 22, and then I decided I was going to go into PR, and now here I am studying to be a health coach. Number 14, my biggest pet peeve is unsupportive people. I hate it more than anything. There's nothing that makes me angrier than when I'm just like talking to someone and I tell them what I want to do or what I'm doing, and they're like, you shouldn't do that. and they like list off all the reasons why it's a terrible idea and why people think that they have like a reason to like butt into someone else's life and like give them 2 cents about like, no, you should get this house instead of that one, and you should get this apartment instead of that one, and you can't get that mattress, you have to get this mattress, and you can't study what you actually love, you have to study business. Like, it makes me so angry when other people think that they can just intrude on someone else's life and their decisions just in like casual conversation, you know? It doesn't make sense why I just have like random conversations with people and I spend the next 10 minutes listening to them talk about what a terrible decision I'm making when it's none of their business, you know? Ugh, it makes me so angry. It's my biggest pet peeve ever. Number 15, I am a huge fan of stream of consciousness journaling. Like, I can talk about it constantly. I've seen like massive improvements in my life from stream of consciousness journaling because it really allows you to like purge and get all of the emotions out, and it helps you reflect on things that you normally don't think about because there's like too much going on in your head. And I've had the most like profound realizations from doing stream of consciousness journaling. It has been one practice in my life that I absolutely swear by. It's changed everything for me. I'm so thankful that I found stream of consciousness journaling. I wrote a blog post all about it. Like, I love it. I love stream of consciousness journaling. And I think that like 99% of the world's problems could be solved if everyone practiced stream of consciousness journaling every day, because then we wouldn't all be such dicks to each other. Number 16, I am a Cancer, so I was basically born to cry. I will cry at any sad part in a movie. I was just watching Designated Survivor last night. Oh, no, I can't. I probably shouldn't talk about that. I'll ruin it for people who haven't seen the second season. But I cried. I cry at everything. I cry when those like sad animal commercials come on. Like, I was basically born to cry. Number 17, I am a huge believer in the law of attraction because I started using it 4 years ago, and I attracted everything in my life from the law of attraction. I mean, it's actually real. And I wasn't, like, at first I would just practice visualizing and trying to manifest things just because it made me feel better. But I actually manifested a month-long trip to Europe, a trip to Costa Rica, moving to Florida, my dream car, a large sum of money, like a lot of things. Like, it's scary real. I actually want to create a video all about it, but I'm like kind of nervous opening up about it. But honestly, I know that it's real. And the biggest thing that people normally say to me when I talk about it is like, oh, but you worked for that. That wasn't really manifesting. Like, you made it happen. But every single one of those things, like, I didn't have to work for. I didn't have to pay for. Like, they just arrived. Like, they just happened. It's like, it's real, I swear. Number 18, the first scary movie I ever watched like to completion was The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. And if you've ever seen it, it's where like basically there's like there's 3 people that are in on it, and they use voodoo to like switch bodies with her. So she's like trapped and like paralyzed in this old woman's body, while like the other people just like live on forever in other people's bodies. And because of that movie, I was terrified of voodoo for years. It was like one of those movies that just like completely scarred me because it was the first one I ever watched, you know? Number 19, my favorite movies of all time are Hocus Pocus and Practical Magic. I used to watch Hocus Pocus like on a loop growing up. I would literally watch it like sometimes 5 times in a day. It is my all-time favorite movie. I love Hocus Pocus. I'm such a fan of it. I could still watch it all day long. Sometimes I do around like Halloween and everything. I actually love Halloween so much that I typically start watching Halloween movies in July, and I get like real pumped up about that time of year. So yeah, those are my favorite movies of all time. Number 20, In a perfect world, I would actually be born in Salem, Massachusetts on Halloween with flaming red hair. I don't know why, I just like, that would just be awesome. Number 21. So it probably is no surprise that growing up I wanted to be a witch. That was like, I think other girls like wanted to be a princess, and growing up I was always just like, no, I want to be a witch. Like I would watch Halloween Town and Practical Magic and Hocus Pocus, and like maybe I was like a witch in a past life or something, I don't know, but I love movies about witches. I love like the magic and everything. It's my favorite. 22. My all-time favorite show is How I Met Your Mother. It's not The Office, it's How I Met Your Mother. Something about How I Met Your Mother I really like, because I feel like it's even better than like Friends, because our generation can really identify with it. Like they talk about things that like, you know, like they address like social media, they address sort of like modern issues, but it's still like a really funny show about a group of friends. I'm so angry that they got rid of How I Met Your Mother on Netflix. So angry about it. I like it more than The Office. I like it more than New Girl, than Friends. I mean, I love all of those, but that's definitely my favorite one. 23. My favorite flowers are sunflowers, which I'm sure is no surprise now that you see my sunflowers in the background. And I don't know if you can see them, but I actually have two. I have a painting and a picture of sunflowers that two of my friends made me. I love sunflowers so much. They just make me so happy. They're so bright and colorful, and if I could just have like a field of sunflowers outside, that would just be perfect. 24. I am completely obsessed with murals outside. Like every single mural I see, I take a photo in front of, which if you follow me on Instagram, you already know this. Like I post photos in front of murals like constantly, like basically any mural I walk by, I take a picture in front of. I don't know when it started. Probably, I want to say that probably started when I took like a trip to Atlanta like 2 years ago or something. But now like Matt and I will literally like go hunting for murals to take pictures in front of on the days when like we have nothing going on. I don't know, we just love it. 25. I am fragrance free. I saw the Stink documentary in like January of this year, and that movie freaked me out so much once I learned what was actually in our products, and I learned that fragrance could contain anything. It contains like hundreds of toxic chemicals, and companies can actually put anything in fragrance that they want to, and it's considered a trade secret. So fragrance actually contains like chemicals that cause cancer, that cause heart failure, that change your DNA, that cause breast cancer. It is so disgusting what they put in our products now. And since I learned all about it in that documentary, I have gotten rid of every single product of mine that contains fragrance, and I've like committed to being fragrance free. Oh no, I can't say every single product because I do use Sweet Sweat, but we're not perfect. It's been like 5-6 months since I've been fragrance free, and I'm really proud of myself. I wasn't sure I'd be able to do it, but I started using like Think Dirty, and it's been easier going fragrance free than I thought it was. I just sort of like slowly got rid of my products and like replaced them. 26. I am also dairy free. I started going dairy free when it was last summer actually. I went on my trip to Europe, and there was this girl on the trip, but she was actually allergic to dairy, and I was lactose intolerant, but I was like in denial of it. So because I was with her throughout the entire month, I just sort of like naturally ate dairy free, because she would order everything dairy free, and then I would hear what the dairy free options were, and I completely got it out of my system, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so much better. So I've been dairy free for about a year now, and I never thought I was going to be able to do it because I'm from Wisconsin. Remember, I'm a cheesehead. So like if I can do it, anyone can do it. 27. I hate boats and I hate sushi. I can't get sushi down. It just makes me like, it's like the texture, you know, it's so gross. It makes me want to throw up. And boats, oh my God, same. I I'm so motion sick on boats, but it's really frustrating because every single person I talk to is like, have you tried Dramamine? Really? 28. I think chai lattes are just some of the best things that have ever been invented. I don't know what took me so long to discover them, but God, they are amazing. I love chai, which is why I say it at the beginning of all my videos. I really do. 29. I have seen Talladega Nights and Kicking and Screaming like hundreds of times now. So I can actually like quote like basically the entire dinner scene of Talladega Nights. I can quote like that entire like coffee shop scene in Kicking and Screaming. And whenever someone else like does like a Talladega Nights like line or something, I basically see it as like a competition to like out quote them and like show them how much I can quote the movie. I love those movies. Will Ferrell is just like, he's just the funniest actor. 30. So I bought a Fujifilm camera about 2 years ago. I bought it like right when I was starting to date Matt, and right at the beginning of our relationship, we decided that we wanted to someday create a instant photo wall. So we've been basically taking pictures on this instant camera for the entire course of our relationship, and now we have one. You can't see it, but it's on that wall back there. And it's like all of our like travels and friends are on that wall. It's so much fun to look at. I love like bringing people over and showing it to them. Like, it's really cool to see every single like major thing that we've done, like the holidays, the travels, like all our friends are on that wall. We love it. So that was 30 facts about me, and I'm going to continue it into another video because I didn't realize how much I was rambling and talking about things. So I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, if you're not subscribing, make sure to subscribe below and stay tuned for my 20 more facts about me.